Hey everyone, Honey Rose is here, and today I'm going to show you my A6 bullet journal, which I tried out for about 4 months this year. I normally use an A5 bullet journal, and my favorite book is the Breeze notebook from Taroko Shop. And I love the Breeze because it's thin and portable, and it's not too heavy, and it lasts me a good amount of time because there's Tomoe River paper in it, so it can fit more sheets of paper in a thinner casing. So Taroko Shop, they had seen my post on Instagram and heard me on YouTube say that I love thinner books. So they said, hey, why don't you try out this A6 size and see how that works for you? And I really loved how portable this thing was. And I got a case for it because the cover is cardboard. And I loved the crap out of it for as long as it worked for me. And unfortunately, it's just too small for my lifestyle. But I could see how it really could work really well for people who might be smart enough to not take on so many different projects, because I have a huge variety of projects that I'm always working on. So jumping in, we've got the inside, we've got a Post-it, we've got some extra tabs. I tried this this flip index, the spine index, and that worked for like a month, but it was a cute idea. Okay, we got my key, and I had the bullet to signify the tasks here. I had been tracking my Pomodoros for a long time. You might want to Google Pomodoro because it's a whole different technique that I highly recommend and I need to get back to. So you can check that out if you want to pause that. Then this spread is my monthly spread that I still use a version of today. I set it up at the beginning of the month, really set my goals and intentions, which I think is a great exercise. And then I have my organized brain dump over on the right. This spread is a small version of one that I've been using for years now, and it's my monthly overview where I put down the important dates and big tasks that might affect how I plan new projects and events into my life going forward. So I'd make this in February and jot down all the things I know about, and then maybe in April or on a larger spread, I would do it, either the second to last or the last month on that spread. And I'd say, okay, it's April, I'm going to create a new spread, and I'm going to transfer all of April and May over to that new spread so I can continue projecting forward and really be able to see what's coming up in my life. Let's see her. Now what? Let's go over here. I really love this monthly spread, and this is specifically for one project. And so I've been working on this charter school project for about 3.5 years now, and I always wanted this calendar on me no matter where I went, but since it was so small, I had to have a little key. And so, volunteer at 11 a.m. So I just put the little heart and the 11, and then I could jot down which week a task had to be done. So like an agenda draft always had to be done 2 weeks before the board meeting. Then we have like non-date sensitive tasks over here on the side. That was amazing. I love it, and I'm going to keep doing that. This spread right here, I also really appreciated. I think it really served me well. It has all my bills listed out, my debt, utilities, and other, and February, March, April, May. And I had little signifiers for like which one was automatic withdrawal and when the due date was and when they were going to be automatically withdrawn, or when I had to pay with a paper check. And then I could really see which bills hadn't been paid and if I had enough money in the bank. And then you know, this really works for someone who doesn't have a nice budget, and I don't. And I need one. I know I do, but I don't. So this kind of kept me on track as good as it could for someone like me who kind of fails at that normally. This savings tracker was also really awesome. Each box signified like $50, and just the act, like knowing that I was going to be able to shade off different areas in here, I think it really helped me save, because I would say I did pretty good here. Let's see here. I'm going to show you a couple of my exercise spreads. So this is my professional goals projection kind of exercise that I did, where I said, where am I going to be, where do I want to be in year 1, year 2, year 5, year 10, year 20, and I kind of worked backwards. So I started here and I said, all right, in 20 years from now, I want to have my dream studio. I want to have a steady residual income from art. And then I worked back to like, okay, this year I need to really work on networking as a weaver. And I think this is so valuable. But I have a new system that I'm working on, which is very similar. But I really love the act of working backwards from a vision and then seeing how you're going to get there. So this is a simple exercise that I really recommend. I also have this goals, quarterly goals spread. This was like an exercise that I haven't even referred to since I did it, but it helped me so much because I was so stressed out. I was like, what am I doing with my life? And this calmed me down. So I have the year broken down into quarters, and I was like, okay, this quarter I need to work on my property taxes and my paying my taxes and stuff like that. At the end of the year, I want to like do a bullet journal workshop. And it really got me motivated to like work and hustle. But yeah, I should probably look back at that, huh? I'm not going to show you all my spreads. Some of them need their own videos because I just think they're really valuable. So I'll show you this one. So this is a pretty typical version of my dailies. I was tracking tracking my day and projecting my day using a timeline, which I have another video on my channel. So yeah, you might want to check that out. I was fitting 3 or 4 days to a page, and that was actually a good amount of space. It kept me from putting too much in my day. This might look like a lot to you guys, but a lot has to get done. Yeah, so I had on the left-hand side tasks, and obviously this month or this week I did not refer to my bullet journal very much. Let's see here. So a lot of my pages aren't very pretty. Like, I do a lot of scribbling, scribble, and I'm cool with that. Like, I need this. This is my tool. This is how I see where I'm going and where I've been, and it doesn't need to be pretty for me. So yeah, most of these are just brainstorms of like random stuff. All right, and some notes. I was taking some notes here. Okay, and let's see. This I'm not going to talk about because it needs a whole video. Here's another version of that monthly, that 4-month overview. So as you can see, I used it for a couple months, and then I probably made a new one. Yeah, I did make a new one at the beginning of June. Here's another organized brain dump, which I felt like I had so much going on that I really needed 2 full pages. And in April, I started doing a little tracker, habit tracker. That only lasted until Friday, and then I ignored it. And you know, that's okay. It served me for 5 days that week. That should be something to celebrate, that I accomplished tracking my habits for 5 days. I'm cool with it. And this week, I didn't track any of my habits. at this point I started using Ink by Jen's stamps, so like water droplet stamps and the date stamps. Oh, and I love them. It might take longer to stamp pages, but I really feel like it makes me happier when I see those stamped pages. And then I like did these weeks in advance, and then I stopped using this. I like totally stopped using my bullet journal. And I'm going to admit what I started doing is that I realized in April, after a huge life coaching, like a life-changing life coaching session, that I need to be doing so much of my planning on my computer, because this is not the most efficient way. And I love planning, but I love making art more, and I love doing other things a lot more than I love creating bullet journal spreads. And so I went digital, and I have saved so much time going digital. And so I will do a whole nother video on that. But for now, here is my A6 journal, because I know so many of my followers wanted to see where it took me. And this is where it took me, you guys. Like, sometimes I didn't need the digital, and I had to have an actual tangible daily. And usually that happened on weekends when I was at home and I was just wanted my journal open. So yeah, I have a lot of dailies in here to work alongside my digital. And then as we go forward, it becomes like more notes, lots of notes. And here I did my June spread, and I didn't use it at all. I did my habit tracker for June. I love this spread. I just love it. I think it's beautiful. I think it's gorgeous. And I especially love this habit tracker and how minimalist it is. But it didn't work for me. Like, my bullet journal was in my bag when I needed this open. And so instead, in June, I created it in my A5 book, and I kept it open on my desk at home every day, and every morning and every night I would track my habits. So yeah, there I am. I created all these spreads, and I never used them. And so this turned into a note-taking notebook, and then I didn't use those pages. I kept all my receipts in here. And then I worked on, these are just like crappy notes like that I'll never refer back to. I just use them as scratch paper. So that is my bullet journal. I definitely, as I said, I recommend it for probably most people, actually. I think this is a great size for productivity and portability. But if you have more of a free, organic, non-structured life that you're trying to give structure to, I'm not sure how you can do that in such a small notebook, because it didn't work for me. But I am intrigued to know how it might work for other freelancers and other creatives, or anybody who has a chaotic, stressful life. So if you do have any suggestions of videos I should watch, please comment below and share with me. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you stay tuned and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more about all the other ways that I attempt to have more organization and productivity in my life. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you later.